President Biden is refusing to back down on his timeline for evacuating Afghanistan, despite calls for an extension from our allies and lawmakers on both sides of the aisle.
We agreed that we will continue to our close cooperation to get people out as efficiently and safely as possible. The completion by August 31st depends upon the Taliban continuing to cooperate. In addition, I've asked the Pentagon and the State Department for contingency plans to adjust the timetable should that become necessary.
Joining me right now is Florida Congressman, House Armed Services Committee member, and former Green Beret commander Michael Waltz. Congressman, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here, and thank you for your service to this great country. You did several tours in Afghanistan. This has to be personal for you. You say it's impossible to evacuate Afghanistan by August 31st. Tell us.
Yeah, Maria, the numbers just don't add up we can't get a straight number, by the way, of Americans that are still in Afghanistan. I don't think the State Department really knows. But with the estimated several thousand, not just in Kabul, but even outside of Kabul, out in the hinterlands, plus the tens of thousands of Afghan allies, I just don't see how that gets done in the next few days. Because remember, although everybody keeps talking about August 31st, they really have to start shutting things down and closing the gates around the 27th or 28th. It's just not possible. And Secretary Austin and Milley yesterday all but said so. So this president is going to leave Americans behind Taliban lines. It's un-American. And to let them dictate the deadline is just jaw-droppingly cowardly, frankly. In my mind. So
it's absolutely outrageous, Congressman. You say that the U.S. is on the cusp of the biggest mass hostage crisis this country has ever seen. I know you're introducing a resolution condemning the president's failure to take advice from the military and intelligence advisors. I mean, what do you think is behind this? Does he not trust the generals? And you know, I mean, what is this going to mean for those people who are behind these enemy lines? They're stuck there.
I don't know if he is heartless or he is clueless or both, Maria. We haven't figured that out yet. But the intelligence was clear. This attempt to deflect and blame the intelligence agencies, the intelligence I was receiving was clear that that the collapse could happen very quickly. And number two, that al-Qaeda will come roaring back. It's not a matter of if, but when. The Taliban equals al-Qaeda. The third piece is that, yes, these Americans are desperate to get out. Biden keeps hinting that they're not. They are desperate to get out, but they can't. They have to get through dozens of Taliban checkpoints and are often even rejected at our own gate because they may have Afghan relatives that don't have a U.S. passport. It is a mess, Maria, and you have congressional offices like mine literally going operational and talking to gate guards, people at the airport, guiding Americans around Taliban checkpoints because the State Department's not doing their job.
But why? I mean, why do you think that he is so insistent on getting out by August 31st? Is this because of optics? He just wants to show that we're out before the 20th anniversary of September 11th?
Yeah, I think part of it is they realize as long as this perimeter is open, the nonstop coverage of the suffering that and the desperation that is happening, they've tried to kind of present a picture that it's really on the Afghans and it's not that bad. But yet when people are so desperate to cling to the side of a jet because they know what's coming with the Taliban and al-Qaeda, so I think they want all of that to go away, frankly, from just a heartless political standpoint. But it's not going to go away because the next images you're going to have are going to be Americans in orange jumpsuits, either held hostage or beheaded, just like with the rise of ISIS. By the way, Maria, the same crowd that's running the show right now was around Obama when we yanked out of Iraq too soon and led to the ISIS caliphate and Americans being executed on international television. It's the same people and the same failed, feckless, weak policy.
That is exactly right. This is the same group that is pretty much begging Iran to do a deal. And they continue to try to do a deal, obsessed with doing a deal with Iran, despite the Iranians yelling death to America. You mentioned the people falling from the jets, trying to get out, desperate to get out. That story of the 17-year-old soccer star who plunged from a U.S. military jet is just heartbreaking as we look at those stories and compare them to the stories of the Taliban seizing $80+ billion of American weaponry since taking over Afghanistan. The pictures of looking at the Taliban on our Humvees with our guns, with our night goggles is just insane. The Pentagon unsure of what exact inventory they have. How dangerous is this?
So, Maria, it's also the same team that was in charge with Benghazi, and it's the same team that did the trade for Bergdahl, which I had to search for as a Green Beret. Two of those Taliban leaders that they traded for a traitor in Bergdahl are now leading the charge in Kabul. But to your point on the equipment, this is what has me so damn mad. Is future American soldiers are going to have to go back to deal with Al-Qaeda 3.0, but it's going to be worse than it was in 2001 because all of our local allies will have been hunted down. We gave away all of our bases, and now they're going to have to fight one of the best armed terrorist armies in the world with night vision, body armor, and heavy weapons. That blood is going to be on Biden's hands. That's American blood. And I am going to hold him accountable along with a lot of people in Congress to my left and right. It's unacceptable.
How are you going to hold him accountable? How?
Well, first of all, we're going to find out who is either providing him the information or what he is ignoring. But secondly, look, Maria, I think at the end of the day, this is going to go far beyond. This is going to go far beyond just regular investigations. Sadly, we have to get back in charge in the House of Representatives to fully hold him accountable in 2023.
Yep. Well, we will be watching that, of course. It's just extraordinary to know that President Biden is trying to take Americans' guns away. At the same time, he's arming the terrorists beyond their wildest dreams. What a moment in time. Congressman, thanks very much for your service and for your time this morning. We so appreciate it. We will see you this weekend. Congressman Michael Waltz joining us this morning.